Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between IM's Nestea versus Delphi here on Ohana. Game 1 in a series, and this is Zerg versus Zerg, I believe still taken from the Iron Squid, as a lot of, tournaments are currently just drying up. For some reason, people aren't posting up replays. It could be the new year. Once again, if you're listening to this in 2013, Happy New Year. If you're listening to this in 2012, I really wish I had more fans like you, because if I had 100,000 more, I could quit my day job. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to happen here. Nestea spawning on the top left-hand side as the blue Zerg. Zerg versus Zerg matchup. And I'm interested to see what type of Zerg versus Zerg matchup we will be seeing. There's always the traditional scout that Zerg players use, getting overlords into position so they know what type of game the other player is playing. If the other player is playing a very heavy economic game, they too can play an economic game if they feel their late game is better. If they all of a sudden see a cut in drones and a lot more Zerglings, Roaches, or a Baneling's Nest go down, you are going to see a little bit more defensive play. Now, one thing to keep note as well, Overlords can only stay there for so long as Queens will be able to push them out. It's going to be a matter of getting that Overlord into a position, perhaps right here for the north side and down over here on the south side, getting that Overlord into position there so that they're able to just sit back, relax, and keep track of the number of drones on minerals here and maybe the number of drones on gas here before they are once again forced to flee. We are seeing Nestea going down for a faster spawning pool and also already placing down an extractor. I would normally say this is going to be a little bit more of an aggressive play, but we also see Nestea setting up his hatchery here. So I think he just wants a little bit of a head start on that metabolic boost. He should be able to get queens down slightly faster. In terms of production, both players should be fairly even. Delphi is going to have the additional larva from a hatchery, which will benefit him early on, but then again, Nestea will have the additional larva coming off of the queen's injects, meaning both sides should be pretty even over there overall. Oh my goodness. I feel like I just got hit by a ton of bricks for some reason. Now, let's take a look into the strategy. Let's take a look at what these players are going to try to do long term, as we now see Nestea opening and coming in with this Overlord. This Overlord may actually get shot down normally. Does he know about the hatchery? Yes, he knows about the hatchery here. And this is the only reason why the Overlord actually has a chance. Nestea knowing that, first of all, that his opponent went for a faster hatchery means that there is a delay in that spawning pool, and this one Overlord should be able to book it, be able to get back off here to the north before that queen comes down. And if that is so, it is actually taking a weird direction. If it does not make its way straight up, it may actually get taken down by the queen. The queen, however, not going to get over in time. It looks like it could perhaps try to do a little bit of damage there. Yes, the Overlord is already taking that damage. There you go, Nestea now flying off to the north. Will enough damage be dealt? And it could cut it very close. We're down to 95 hit points, and the queen decides to back away, deciding not to continue with that pressure. We are seeing a Baneling's Nest now coming from Delphi. Both sides getting metabolic boost. And with Nestea only getting in Zerglings and no Roaches, this is a lot of Zerglings, however, so it is going to be very defensively played. Those Banelings need to be morphed in just a very short while. You can see one Spine Crawler coming down. The Queen's drones are back over here. This is going to be very close here, as a couple of Banelings are going to be on the top of that ramp. Spine Crawler is in position. Zerglings now trying to make their way over. Double Queen here, as the Zerglings and drones are now just mineral pathing straight through. This could come out to be a very difficult engagement, as Banelings may try to come in for a bit of a splash. There you go, a beautiful hit by Delphi, and another beautiful hit by Delphi, and that may be a very telltale sign of what's going to happen here. Delphi utilizing two Banelings very effectively, and now you see a 29 drone to 22 drone advantage for Delphi. All of those Zerglings taken down so quickly. And Delphi now is in the driver's seat. Nestea perhaps will be backing off a little bit. He needs to play a little bit more defensively. You can see a spine crawler is being placed down as Zerglings are looking to get some damage back on some other Zerglings there. Delphi sitting at 44 over 44 currently, supply blocked, unable to train up any additional units so far, and he really needs to get heavier into that drone count and make that last as long as he possibly can. Income advantage shows that it is now fairly even once again, 33 harvesters compared to 31, and I am very surprised by that. But then again, Delphi is getting a lot more gas. The benefit of that additional gas, in addition to moving to a faster tier 2, should mean that he is going to have Mutalisk much more quickly. Zergling trying to push its way in, not going to be able to do very much damage at all. But I think if a Mutalisk do come in, that's going to be a very, very smart move by Delphi. Delphi should have a stronger Mutalisk count. He knows that his opponent cannot afford to lose drones in order to grow up and be extractors just quite yet. And you already see Delphi with a 200 gas lead well before these extractors are even saturated. Zerglings looking to take down these destructible rocks off over here. It looks like Delphi is looking to take up a third base. So far, there are only 2 queens on each side. So if it does come down to Mutalisk play, Delphi getting about 8 to 10 Mutalisks in the opening 40 seconds once that Spire is done should be a huge advantage. So far, it looks like the layer is about to be completed now. No Hydralisk Den yet. No infestation pit yet. It's going to come down to be a very, very close battle as Zerglings now on the move. It looks like Delphi is going to get caught in the middle of the move there. Looks like the Spire will be completed. What is going to be happening next? How much gas is available? 800. And it looks as though, yes, we should have about 8 Mutalisks in the air in just a moment. There you go, 8 Mutalisks in the air. We could perhaps even see 9 or 10 here as the Zerglings are now backing away. All Delphi is doing is forcing Zerglings and Banelings to be trained up. If the Zerglings and the Banelings are currently being trained, the Mutalisk should be able to take down and pick off those very expensive Banelings very, very easily. Zerglings are now just simply running inside here. Queen is in position to get surrounded and taken down. Spire is already up. Delphi now fighting back. Nestea doing a great job here as the Roach Warren about to be completed. Mutalisks are already out, and the Spore Crawlers are now coming. Spore Crawlers are coming. Where are these Mutalisks perhaps going to go? Perhaps take down a couple of these Overlords caught in midfield. This is all going to be a very, very crucial window to hit. Delphi needs to deal damage with these Mutalisks, currently at 10. Is he going to be able to do so? Yes, taking down another Overlord here, currently sitting at 10 Mutalisks. So far, Spine Crawlers and 3 of them very effective. There is one Spore Crawler here, and in comes the engagement. Is the Mutalisk going to go straight after the Queens? Yes, one Queen is down, a second Queen is down, and now going after the Spore Crawler. No, deciding to leave it as there is now Baneling splash off over here. All right, the Queen's now trying to come in. The Mutalisk getting in some splash damage there once again, and now going after that perhaps Spore Crawler. No, not going to do so. Just going to try and hit different buildings and some of those Overlords as well. Where are these units perhaps going to fall to next? Mutalisk could have gone after that Spine Crawler, but the Mutalisk with only a range of 3 still taking a fair amount of damage. Nestea now deciding to come in with the counterattack. Roaches are in position. Nestea about half in supply. This is not looking good for him at all, as the Mutalisks are still wandering around, not actually capitalizing on their technological and economic army size advantage. 775 versus 2700. Delphi looking very strong right now, but he still needs to figure out a way to actually harass. He is sitting up on bases and also sitting up on a significant economic advantage, so perhaps he just wants to sit back here and relax. He knows that his opponent is not taking up a third base, and Delphi may just try and play it safe now, utilizing these Mutalisks for map control while getting into 200-200. Nestea's options at this point is to try and utilize that defender's advantage with Infestors. Infestors very, very important in a battle like this, being able to shut down and stop the fast-moving units. We can see that there are Mutalisks making their way over, and there are Infestors now making a move out. Alright, whenever you're behind, if you are Protoss, you go Dark Templars. If you are Zerg, you go Infestors. And hope you can deal a whole bunch of damage with those infested Terrans. That does seem to be the case now. Does the Overlord perhaps spot the little bit of ripple? And that is going to be a key point here. Overseer is, gonna catch a couple of those Infestors in transit. And that was a huge loss for Nestea now being forced to retreat. The Infestor is not going to be able to catch up. The Overseer not going to be able to catch up. Does move slightly slower. But yeah, the perfect timing on that Overseer to catch some of those Infestors as they're making their way forward. Alright, Roaches now making their way in. Infestors, they are going to get taken down again. There's some infested Terrans. And it looks like the Infestors may get taken down. A whole bunch of infested Terran eggs are going to be swarming out. And here we go. Fungal growth, Overseers, Mutalisks, more infested Terrans coming out as well. What are the Mutalisks doing? They should not be engaging there, as Infestors are still pushing their way forward. Alright, a whole bunch of infested Terrans now making their way. There you see a fungal growth as the Infestors and Mutalisks, infested Terran eggs once again coming in. Is it going to be enough? Infested Terran eggs now dealing a lot of damage to those Mutalisks. Delphi only ahead by about 40 supply now. Not looking nearly as strong, but he does have a significant economic advantage still. So far, let's take a look at the losses. Nestea still has lost more, even though he has been trading fairly well. But we see now the double expansion coming in from Delphi. The double expansion meaning on opposite ends of the map, it's going to be difficult for Zerg to actually hit both and be effective, as the Zerglings are now swarming their way in again. Roaches are getting to the party just in time to push back all of those Zerglings. You can see a third base still trying to be established by Nestea. This is not looking all too good at all, as the Infestors and Zerglings still looking to push in here. Alright, Infestors, Zerglings now making their way forward. It looks as though a couple Infestors may get taken out. There's the Burrow. That's not going to be a smart move. The Infestors try to unload some infested Terrans. Not going to be effective at all, as the Mutalisks still maintaining a significant map control. And now we really start to see the income difference. 700 additional resources a minute. Hydralisks now coming in. Delphi looking very strong, hasn't even bothered to saturate this right base yet, knowing that it would put him in a very awkward position to try and defend. Infestors, there's a beautiful fungal growth. We may see another one. All those Zerglings go down. Whole bunch of infested Terran eggs on both sides, as the Infestors are now both fighting it out. Roaches have arrived. Delphi now with almost double the supply. Looks like he will be able to capitalize and continue to trade, not very efficiently, but he doesn't need to at this point. Groove Spines now coming in. It looks as though Hydralisks will be coming out. We are going into Hive Tech as well. And look, what is this? Delphi still has one Overlord here. Knows that there is no saturation there at all. Overlords in position. That is a whole bunch of Infestors. Infestors versus an entire Roach army with Zerglings. A Spire now coming down, a second Spire coming in from Delphi, so perhaps he's going to try to go into upgrades as the Roaches and Infestors are trying to engage. There comes the Zerglings on the far side. Is it going to be enough? Roaches are there to meet and greet, and here we go. Zerglings are going to be able to make it up inside the base very easily. There is one Queen here, and that is it, as the Queen, Hive made the lair, may get taken down here, taking a lot of damage. The Queen may get off a couple transfusions. Is it going to be enough? Layer down to 1,000 hit points. Spine Crawlers now coming in as well. Are we going to see that transfusion? It looks like we don't need to see it, or perhaps it was already done. 2-2 or 2-1 upgrades on those Queens, as we now see a race of 5 bases to 3. Nestea still in trouble, still trading pretty efficiently, but he is now down 3,000 resources in engagements as well. Alright, we are going into the crackling upgrades. We are going into an Ultralisk Cavern. It looks as though the Roaches may simply just try to straight up and attack, move inside. Infested Terran eggs, here we go. Infestors, infested Terran eggs, a whole bunch of Roaches. Roaches are getting fungal growth. Both sides battling it out. Infested Terran eggs now coming in. It looks like Nestea unloaded a whole bunch of eggs once more. Delphi now with 200. Is he simply just going to attack, move, and try and take this base? Spine Crawlers, mass Spine Crawlers here, poking away, but the roaches may simply be too much. Infestor's out of energy, and there is the GG coming in from Nestea. Game 1 going into Delphi. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.